The static in the silence. The police station was a blur of harsh fluorescent lights and the smell of stale coffee. Akari argued with the detective, her voice tight with frustration, while Yuna huddled in a chair, drawing shaky pictures of shadowy monsters. Kenji sat apart, his hands cuffed, the cold metal a stark contrast to the buzzing energy still thrumming under his skin. He was a suspect, a weapon, a freak. He met the detective's suspicious gaze, seeing not a protector, but another person who feared him. "His bioelectrics are off the charts," a technician's voice crackled through the detective's radio. "We've never seen anything like it." The detective stared at Kenji, a new kind of understanding dawning in his eyes. Just then, the lights in the station flickered and died. A collective gasp echoed through the building, followed by a chilling, unnatural silence. The static was back. Through the windows, the city lights of the street below went out, plunging the world into darkness. Then, chaos erupted. Screams echoed from the street, followed by the sound of shattering glass. Kenji, his eyes wide, saw them, dozens of shadows materializing from the darkness, their movements swift and predatory as they descended upon the panicked crowd. "They're not just after me anymore," he whispered in horror. "They're after everyone." With a surge of desperate strength, Kenji overloaded the electronic lock on his cuffs. The metal glowed red-hot and snapped open. He burst from the room, ignoring the detective's shouts. "Akari, get Yuna out of here. Find somewhere safe," he yelled, not looking back. He ran towards the chaos, a storm of blue lightning gathering around his fists. He was done hiding. He crashed onto the street, a whirlwind of motion and energy. He met the first shadow with a concussive blast of electricity that sent cars skidding. The clash was brutal and fast. Kenji moved like a blur, his attacks precise, but the shadows were relentless. They swarmed him, their touch draining his energy, their whispers echoing Kageyama's promises of power and purpose. An officer, trying to intervene, was thrown aside by a shadow, his body hitting the pavement with a sickening thud. A woman screamed as another shadow cornered her and her child against a storefront. Seeing the innocent caught in his fight, a fresh wave of fury surged through Kenji. He let out a roar, and a massive wave of bioelectric energy erupted from him, throwing every shadow back several feet. He fought his way towards the mall, hoping to draw the fight away from the open streets. The glass doors shattered as he burst through, the shadows right behind him. The polished floors of the mall became a battleground. Shoppers screamed and fled as the fight raged through the once peaceful space. Kenji used the environment to his advantage, bringing down a massive electronic billboard on a group of shadows, the screen exploding in a shower of sparks. He was getting tired. The constant output of energy was taking its toll. A shadow caught him off guard, its icy grip closing around his arm, and a searing pain shot through him. He cried out, stumbling back. As the shadow loomed over him, a high-pitched scream cut through the air. "Leave him alone." Yuna stood on a balcony overlooking the battle, her small hands pressed against the glass. Her eyes glowed with a soft, golden light. The shadow advancing on Kenji suddenly froze, clutching its head as if in agony. The other shadows faltered, their dark forms flickering as a wave of pure, silent energy washed over them. It wasn't an attack. It was a feeling of pure, undiluted peace that was anathema to their nature. Kenji stared in disbelief. He had always been the protector, the one with the power. But now, it was Yuna who was holding them back. Akari ran to her side, pulling her back from the edge. "Yuna, stop!" she pleaded, her voice filled with a new kind of fear. The golden light faded from Yuna's eyes, and the shadows, released from her influence, recoiled as if burned. They looked from Kenji to the small girl on the balcony, a new target in their sights. Then, as quickly as they appeared, they dissolved back into the darkness, leaving behind a trail of destruction and a terrifying new discovery.